Just outside of the bright lights big city of Nashville, we came across this beautiful fairy tale looking tower, which is actually the Omohundro water intake tower for Davidson County. Was built around 1929. But it just showed us that we were going on to a new adventure in what looked like a new land for us. Just a few miles further upstream, we ran into a familiar site, the Gaylord Entertainment Building, where I worked for 9 years. I really did used to look out of those windows and see big yachts going by and just wonder where the heck they were going and what kind of adventure they would see. Then we rounded the bend and saw another really familiar sight, the General Jackson. We really couldn't believe our eyes that we had already gotten to this point. And it was really exciting to see the boat that was part of our history at Gaylord and Opryland, as well as many fun times that we had on the boat, dinners and just some river cruises with the company and those kind of things. But to be cruising up right next to it was really something. Our big wake didn't rock that monster one little bit. Here we came across the Opryland Spring House golf course, of which I have knocked several golf balls off of those fairways into the water. Had no idea I would ever be seeing it from this perspective. I was really tempted to blow the horn when those guys were getting ready to tee off, but I just didn't want to be mean. It was really neat to be seeing it from the water's edge. Now this is something you don't see every day, at least I never have, a pontoon boat ramp down into the water. I'd love to see that thing operate. We saw a lot of unusual rigs, I should say, on this trip for people to use the water. I love that. The next 10 miles or so, we just felt like we were out in the wilderness. It was absolutely beautiful. We were lucky to have a beautiful day, but the landscaping, the rocks, the lack of any boat or car traffic and in the background was just phenomenal. Eventually we came across our very first lock and dam for us to work on together. We had talked about it and reviewed videos. I had gone through 8 or 9 locks on the way up from Chattanooga, but never on my own or with Lisa as the first mate. And so we were really nervous coming in. In fact, if you look closely, you'll see that we do a perfect landing upon the wall, and Lisa does a perfect job of tying us up before we ever notice that we didn't have our fenders out. So we made a quick run around and everything turned out just perfectly. I really got to hand it to Lisa. She made it look easy. Goes the doors closing. Lisa did a perfect job getting us tied up for her very first lock, and all is well, we hope. We'll just start watching that water go up. I think it goes up like 80 feet. Lisa working on the bollard down there. She got it tied up and it will to the top. You can just see how violent that water is. Just, I know it. Yeah. Almost to the top. I can see boats out on the lake out there. Crazy physics. Well, now we're all the way up. I can see the lake on the other side compared to this side where we were, way down there.
It actually does have like it has another like it has 2 feet to come up.
Yeah. Well, it ended up being nice at the Cedar Creek Yacht Club. They've got some construction going on up there. Got a nice pool, but we had a nice shower and everything. So overall, it wasn't a bust. Would have been nice to have electric though. So this morning we came out of the marina perfectly, and I immediately went the wrong way. When you pull out of the marina at Cedar Creek, it's like coming into an octopus with tentacles everywhere, and it's very shallow when you get out of the channel, which I'm looking at right now. So, and I ended up hitting something down below because I got out of it slightly because I was going the wrong way. Then I had to turn around. So anyway, hope all is well. I'll scuba dive down, see what I can find when we anchor. So this area kept me on my toes for about 5 or 10 miles. You can see all the stuff out there in the middle. It wasn't floating, most of it. It was grounded on jetties. But anyway, that's why I rubbed the bottom momentarily earlier when I got off course. I backed it off immediately and put it in neutral and then got right back in the channel. But it made my face red very quickly, as you can imagine. Well, this was a beautiful area we were in. Right here we're passing Cunningham Island, and you can see off in the distance the beginning of a lot of big, beautiful rock walls, just faces of rocks that have eroded for years. It really made you feel like you were out west on some secluded river. This area is called 7 Mile Bluff, and yes, for 7 miles there are beautiful bluffs sometimes on both sides of the river. So I'll just let you gaze at the beauty for a while. The water temperature at this point is dropping from about 88 degrees all the way down to 67 degrees where we anchored, because we're getting closer and closer to Cordell Hull Dam, and that water's coming out of the bottom very cold and very clean. Water depth in this area ranges from about 18 feet to 60 feet. The anchorages, there was a lot of them in the 15 to 25 foot range. Where we anchored out, it was about 18 feet, but we knew it was going to drop, and it dropped over 7 feet at night because of anchoring so close to the dam.
We can send people going. In the rocks, like in Israel or something.
So we just passed some wild billy goats living in these bluffs.
Well, this is one of many beautiful bald eagles that we saw on this trip. Their tail just looks like it's got a reflector on it. It shows up so well. Next trip, I'm going to have another camera ready just for them. They are just so majestic. We concluded day 2 by anchoring in beautiful Bartlett's Bar, where the current was very swift, and it was not a bar after all. It was a sandbar, but we enjoyed a fantastic swim and a wonderful night at anchor under the stars. Day 3 started with the excitement of us going through the Cordell Hull Lock and Dam and onto Cordell Hull Lake, which they call Little Switzerland for good reason.
Beauty everywhere you look. Good job, First Mate.